Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us at the market site in Times Square, New York City, we have Srinivas Koneru. He's the founder and chairman of Triterras. And we also have Tom Trowbridge. He's the president of Triterras. And we're going to take a look at the $40 trillion trade finance industry. That's a pretty big number. I mean, that's significantly larger than the U.S. deficit. What exactly is trade finance?
Trade finance is actually for cross-border trades, like going from one country to the other. Mm-hmm. So you do finance those trades. It's not like within the US. Generally, you don't do the trade finance, but it's always cross-border trades that you do.
All right, and
so
this is a big, large amount.
Correct. Like if you look at commodities, right? Mm-hmm. Like you look at wheat, any grains or palm oil or all these things are all fall under the category of commodities trading, and then the trade finance covers pretty much a lot of that part of it.
All right.
It excludes the oil and gas.
Mm-hmm. Well, banks prefer to finance larger trade finance transactions, so I would imagine that's dominated by the multinational larger corporations, and smaller companies might not be able to get access to that.
Right.
Right, and so if you think about trade finance, think about how long it takes for a ship to go from one place to another. Mm-hmm. And so companies don't like to have their capital locked up in a ship that's going from, say, Indonesia to the US. So they finance that. And that's what trade finance really is. And so it's dominated by large banks, multinational corporations, the names of which you've heard of. But SMEs have a very difficult time accessing that market. And there's about $1.5 trillion the World Trade Organization estimates of trade finance, which is desired, but is not available. And that's because lenders cannot find the actual borrowers, and there's no way for them to transact because the transaction sizes are too small to be easily available, and there's no way to do diligence on those borrowers.
Which eventually trickles down to the economy, because that's $1.5 trillion worth of dollars that's not able to be put through the system.
Correct.
So that's a lot of money at the end of the day. Where can small and mid-sized companies get access to that?
Until recently, banks were financing these transactions because of Basel III coming in, their capital requirements is going up substantially. So rather than doing small trades and helping the small and medium, they want to go and help the big guys, so the Cargills of the world, the large companies. So now more and more private funds are coming in to fund and then take over that gap. It's just in that transition period. Banks have been exiting last 1.5 years onwards, and slowly one by one new funds are coming in, large funds. Like 10 billion, 15 billion funds are coming in, and they are trying out to do this.
So let's learn more about Triterras here, because you are leveraging new FinTech technologies that are available out there to understand where these suppliers are, what commodities are looking to exchange. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so Triterras is actually a FinTech, global trade finance platform. It actually also has trade and trade finance both. So what we have done is we have developed a blockchain-enabled FinTech platform. So precisely what happens, like you asked, right? The banks left and the funds are coming in, but the funds have no knowledge on what the process is, how do they assess the people, the traders, how do they figure out? Because banks have thousands of people that do the back-end KYC, AML. These funds don't have that kind of infrastructure. So what we have done is we have built this platform. It is all integrated. So it does end-to-end coverage from the origination, say for the grain to produce in Australia, it's going to, say, China. So it covers the whole gambit. So starting from KYC, AML, then it goes and does a credit check on the company. Then once the transaction is done, bill of lading is the title. Like once you put the goods on the ship, they give a bill of lading. So the bill of lading is also checked so that there's not fault. So it eliminates all kinds of fraud, eliminates paperwork and all that. We made things easy and transparent.
Well, Tom, that goes back to your comment on due diligence. The blockchain allows you to do that due diligence, and it also creates accountability within the supply chain, particularly when you're looking at agricultural products.
Yes.
Yep, so it creates accountability and it creates trust. And trust is the key element that's missing in trade finance and trade in general, where you've got all these counterparties in different countries, different cultures, different languages, not accustomed to each other's ways of doing business even. And so when you have a single source of trust, which is blockchain, that is one group that can't be modified, it's immutable, you then know documents haven't been altered. You don't have to trust Triterras because everything's uploaded onto the blockchain, and that is a huge benefit to enabling these parties to transact with each other.
So it sounds like it makes it more efficient and certainly speeds up the process.
Speeds up the whole process, transparency, then eliminates fraud. And we have actually introduced this product about 9 months ago, and we have already captured about close to $3 billion of trade transaction on the platform. We have 46 clients already on it, and we have not even released a newspaper article. We're just doing like word of mouth, but then people see, and then now our idea is to have traders, all the small SME trading companies to be on the platform. Now we already discussed with large funds, private funds, so they are more than eager to come and deploy the money on the platform because their money is now much safer, because it's transparent, all the documents are there, and they all just have to go through and follow the process on the platform.
I mean, it's pretty amazing in 9 months to add $3 billion back into the economy because the process was available and quicker and efficient. That's a big interjection into any economy.
Well, it's a big number. Also, keep in mind, Triterras was founded in 2012. So Triterras has been at this business for 7 years and is generating about $4 billion in turnover right now for this year, for the fiscal year right now, and about 90 million in EBITDA. So this is a big business already that has pulled its business onto this custom-built blockchain-enabled platform and is attracting other volume onto it as well. And so it's been done very under the radar. You won't find too much written about this, and I think now is the time we're starting to go public with the success and the efficacy of this platform.
And that was my question to wrap up here. Is this going to be the future of trade finance?
Yes, it is going to be. Actually, we are building in a lot more features into this. We are bringing in artificial intelligence. Then we are building big data too, because we have so much of data. Guys, our goal is that we'll have about 35 billion of transaction on the platform. With that data, we can come up with all kinds of metrics, that will be useful for the traders, for the funds, for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to have this big pool of data, but how to efficiently use it and have good, clean data sets to help drive this industry forward is what's really key.
Yeah, and we just want to be the solution that enables SMEs to access trade finance. And that is allowing these small, medium-sized enterprises to get access to capital is really what this enables, and that's a pretty exciting mission to be on.
Yeah, that certainly is exciting. Thank you so much for joining
us
at Market Site. And thank you for joining me on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.